Hello, star lovelies. It's a great time to be a soul. Today we're talking about healing harmony is the theme for this new moon eclipse. I adore this energy, but let's first talk about the eclipse astronomically. It's an annular solar eclipse. What does that mean? That means that the moon is passing between the sun and the earth, but yet it's farther away, so it doesn't look like it's covering the whole sun. So that's where you can have a ring around it. So that's what that means. And so from an ecliptic perspective, we're really excited. This is the second part of the pair. The pair started on the full moon 2 weeks ago, and it was all about limitless love. And now this is coming in as harmony. Everything's about relationship right now. And so at 2:50 p.m., when the new moon, when the sun and the moon kiss, it's going to be a beautiful annular solar eclipse and a 10 degrees sun and moon phase. And they're both in Libra. And so let's unpack that. So the 10 degrees is about fortune and good luck and rewards. And, you're kind of coming to the end of a cycle, and then it's the beginning of a new cycle. So there's this flush of new, but yet you reap the rewards of the seeds you have sown, right? So that feels really luscious. And then in Libra has this beautiful balance and this flow and this harmony. And so that also feels really good. And then we have Mercury right there, just 1 degree apart. And Mercury and Venus have a beautiful conversation going on because Venus happens to be, it's a minor aspect. It's called a semi-sextile in Scorpio, but they're both at 11 degrees. And what that means is that the conversation from Libra opens up to the heart of Scorpio. And so that is a deep dive, and that is where the healing is. So I'll unpack that in just a moment. But Libra wants me to talk about her a little bit more. And so she is ruled by Venus. So that's also a Libra affinity, but it's in Scorpio. So this is where deep abiding love, making commitment, long-lasting partnership. This is a soulmate energy, which also feels luscious. But think about soulmate. We can in our minds say, oh, that's just so wonderful. We're soulmates. And then when we get into the energy, we realize oh, wow, this is a lot. We've got 1,000 years of karma between us. We really know each other. We kind of finish each other's sentences, but yet we have this completion of each other that allows something different inside of somebody else to be appreciated by you or to be annoying to you. And so this is where the healing comes in. And this is where that flow of Libra is so beautiful. So everything is about relationships right now. It's not just because of this. Everything's been about relationships for a handful of weeks. And it's for us to be able to heal from a heart perspective. What do we truly value? How do we want to be loved? What are we curious about? What are we willing to fall in love with again? And I've been talking about falling in love with your clients again, with your businesses again, with your mission, with your vision, with your values. This is a rekindling time. And so there's a sweetness here. And honestly, this new moon energy is the best energy of the week. And it's more powerful than that because it's an eclipse. So this new moon, we can set intentions. This eclipse, they can be for the next 6 months. We can look back at 6 months ago to see what we had planted then, to see what we want to be birthing. We can ensure we're on the right trajectory because we have 4 more weeks before we come into another new moon time. And that's where I had said last spring, you're going to find out if you're on the right trajectory when you get to November 3rd. But we have this month right now. It's October 2nd. So we have this month right now to say, what are the rewards? How do we harvest them? How are we so incredibly appreciative for the things that are going well in our life and celebrating how far we've come? We're in the 10th month of the year. I mentioned that in the October forecast. And so congratulations, we've gotten to the 10th month of this extremely edgy year, where I had said that the movie of the year was The Replacements. And this is the perfect time to mention that again, because The Replacements, there was a movie that came out circa 2000, and it was about a football team, and they were cobbled together and, with duct tape and string, but yet they got a second chance, and by working together, they get to win, and so that's what this year is like. This year is like How are things coming together? Well, they feel really edgy. I'm not really sure how they're coming together. Okay, but sure, they're coming together, right? I have to work with myself in different ways. I might be working with other people in different ways. That feels a little bit like a cobbling together. I'm not really sure about it. But once we get into the rhythm and flow, wow, there's a beautiful reharnessing of what I'm truly good at and how I feel about things. And again, with that rejuvenating and revitalizing of passion. Ooh, this feels really good. Maybe we can make strides. Maybe this fourth quarter of the year will be a gorgeous positioning for me. Not only to end of the year, close to where I want to be, but begin the next year where you really want to be. So amazing how that's coming to, the surface again. And here's Libra giving us more space and grace to do that. And then we also have another energy that's really beautiful. And it's between, now hold your hats because I'm going to say something really beneficial about Saturn, but it's between Venus and Saturn, and it's also between Mars and Saturn. And so Saturn in Pisces at 14 degrees is beautifully toning and soothing that Mars in Cancer. So he doesn't feel good in Cancer. I talked about this in that podcast. I think it's podcast 92. And it's going to be an energy that's going to be going on until next April. So we've got another 6 or 7 months of this. And so, okay, here we go. But right now, Saturn is giving us the fortitude, the tenacity, the priority to say, how can we, with bravery and courage, open our hearts? How can we lean into our intuition? How can we seek healing in ways that we might not be comfortable with? Amazing. And also really soothing Venus in that Scorpio energy. They're all water signs. This is a very emotional time, but we have that balance of the flow with Libra. That's beautiful. But this is why I had said it's like walking on cobblestones this week, because the surface may seem like, oh, great, let's go shopping. Let's have some fun. Let's get together with friends. Yeah, it might be a little bit quieter because I want to have some deep connection, but it just feels really good. Same thing for business. Let me reach out to people. Let me connect. Let me make sure that I'm being seen in some way to do a handshake with people, right? Great. But there's something that is in it for me that is asking me to reveal something that's deeper, something that may be fraught for me. So when I'm brave and I have that fortitude and the tenacity and I say yes to showing up, then those rewards are here. Then there's that soothing. If not, if I decide to go against, I'll be getting to the tips for the signatures in just a moment. If I decide to go against that, I wonder what's going to happen. The healing will be there and it is really supportive, but am I going to fight it? Am I going to resist it? Am I going to say no in ways that will just drag it on? Because that's the thing with water. It can be dragged on. It can be underneath the surface and you feel like those waves and you feel destabilized, but you don't really know why. Well, Libra's giving you all the answers right now. So this is a great time to listen. There's also a really, it's called the magic triangle or the mini triangle. And it's something that's setting up. It's been setting up since 2022, really coming to fruition this year in 24 and going to be significantly strong until 2028. And that is also really close together on this new moon eclipse. And because the new moon eclipse has its own energy that's really supportive, that's really opening, we have a chance for us to go even deeper in how we want to balance ourselves and our energy for the new era, how we want to seek change to create more stability, which that seems antithetical, but it's not. And then to open up ourselves in creative ways to pursue our intuitive connection. This is a packed new moon. And so when I went into the energies, just recently to be able to do this podcast, I was so entrained with the energy of the forecast for the month because that was just a day ago. And so don't want to disorient you about like, gee, there's other magical tools. The only other one that wanted to come in was an oracle card, and it was about opening to your heart's wisdom. And I thought, that's just luscious and perfect. And then, of course, there was this crystal that wanted to come in to add to that bronzite of the month, and it was ruby, and it's a beautiful divine spark for that power of the heart. And then the olive tree came back to talk about its wisdom and its rootedness in the wisdom and the remembrance of it and the joy and the renewal of being truly in your own energy. So I talked about the week as, don't succumb to giving your power away. It's really easy to do that in Libra. And why? It's easy to do it in Libra because Libra likes to pacify. Libra is all about harmony and calm and connection and love and commitment to that love. And so she strives for partnership, and sometimes she gives herself away. But when you go into the Venus energy, Venus doesn't give herself away. So allowing yourself to be really steeped like through that olive tree, like really steeped in your own being. That's where that rekindling of your passion for your mission, your vision, your values, when we're talking about your business space, and rekindling your passion for your life. What do you adore about your life? There are things you adore, even though you might feel fatigued. That's where that olive flower essence comes in, or the olive tree. We're going to go into ritual in just a moment. Or you can go in and you can say, you know what? I feel really comfortable with that masculine ability to get things done, but I don't feel so comfortable in really setting a different pace and saying to myself, like, I can do self-care and I can satisfy my own needs. Here's an opportunity to really open up to that. So we're not saying things are perfect. We're saying things are really wonderful for who you are and how you've set up your life. And there are nuggets in there that are just ripe for the plucking. And when you do that and you wrap yourself around with that, you can say, okay, now I can look and celebrate me and say, okay, there's a new beginning. I'm going to start something new right now. New moon. We're going to set intentions for the next 6 months. And in so saying, if you have not taken that quiz, go ahead to your starmaptosuccess.com and answer those 12 questions. And then you can get your tips, because we're going to be doing an energetic ritual in just a few minutes after I talk about the tips. I am not deviating from the monthly ones. However, we're going to open them up because right now the power is pushing upward and outward. So we want to be able to really harness that. So we talked about with wise strategists to do outreach. So seek comfortable ways to do that. Do it with your own method and tempo. For the intuitive visionary, it's creating clear pathways for your sales. You know you've obfuscated just a touch. Go ahead and clear that. Use that Saturn energy to just roll up your sleeves and dive in and just make it, instead of a 3-step process, make it a 2-step process, or instead of a paragraph, make it a sentence. For you, Collaborator Explorer, it is your time to speak and to shine. Look for those places that you already feel comfortable and just clear your throat and speak up. You will be pleasantly surprised about how people receive your information. Ruling Warrior, everything's heart-based. You're going to be wrapping yourself in ruby, and you are going to stay for the ritual so that you can get the most out of this time. And then Creative Superstar, just roll up your sleeves and just do it. It's time to tackle those things. You have the fortitude, the tenacity, the energy, the drive. Just go ahead and do it. And you'll be so proud of yourself. And then you can buy yourself something to celebrate. And then for that loving alchemist, this is a time to be sassy and fun. There's a discomfort that people are like kind of leaning into. In just a few weeks, we're going to be hitting Scorpio. Venus is already there. You understand her. You can really represent her energy. But when you do it in fun ways, you tie both that scorpionic depth with that beautiful Libran peace and calm. Okay, let's go into ritual. Go ahead and carve out some space for yourself. We're going to be envisioning a beautiful olive tree. We're going to be using that energy of ruby. We're going to be going into that gorgeous ecliptic force of Libra, so we can picture the sun and the moon being together. And we're going to open up some of the other cosmic energies. So go ahead and take a deep breath. We're going to be breathing in that 10 for reward. This is a time that you can reward yourself. So think about that. You're rewarding yourself right now by taking this time for you. But also think about another way that you want to reward yourself and make that an intention during this new moon. I'd like you to breathe the energy deeper than your throat, deeper than your chest, down through your diaphragm, into your belly, into your own creative spark. I'm going to place Ruby there. Ruby, the divine spark, the pure power, the initiation of the new. Going down into the root and down into the earth star. Being able to plant seeds for the next 6 months or harvest those that you planted 6 months ago. And opening up the root system of the olive tree. Here's the ancient remembrance, the wisdom that resides in you, your intuitive inklings, beautiful soul whispers. You can really feel your feet on the floor to ground you gorgeously. And let the olive tree spring up around you. You can put yourself in an olive grove, and you can be sitting beautifully against the tree. You could become a tree if you like. But you're you, totally gorgeously you. And I'd like you to think of one thing that you're really, really passionate about. It could be your puppy. It could be the sunset. It could be, if you're here in the, northern hemisphere, it could be the fall, beautiful, gorgeous, waning energies. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, it could be the waxing ones of spring. It could be the moon herself and how mysterious she is and how powerful. It could be Ruby, that gorgeous power center. It could be wisdom itself. Go ahead and open yourself up to you. Opening up that belly area for creativity, opening up your heart for love, opening up your throat and your third eye and your crown for connection to you. And we allow the sun and the moon to come and sit right beside us. There's that Libra balance, the beautiful bright lights of the day, and the gorgeous mysteries of the night and the moon and her moonlight. And we're opening up to how we know ourselves, what it is that we wish to become more aware of, how we like ourselves, what it is we'd like to become more open to, and how we trust ourselves, how it is that we welcome our soul and our mission and our potential. And let that olive tree bring that renewal, that energy, that joy. Olive is pure joy. And with that pure power and that pure joy, let's have the balance between the two to give us the ability to do those things that are not that comfortable or that we, quite frankly, dislike, but to also to fully open to those things that give us such incredible satisfaction and pleasure. Allow ourselves to be sassy or vulnerable or standing in the spotlight or being really clear or being tenacious or allowing those beautiful connections. Yes, we say yes. Let's think of that reward that we'd like to set for the next 6 months. It can begin today. Bringing the beautiful olive energy in and the beautiful ruby energy into opening up to rewards, to purpose and power and prosperity, to our full potential. We're opening up to say yes to support and to yes to opportunities. The way the moon nurtures and loves and supports us, and the way the sun opens up our pathways for beautiful expansion and growth. Yes, we say yes. And with that, we breathe in the energy of this new moon and this eclipse, and that gorgeous Saturnian, Martial, Venusian support, as well as the new era support, as well as opening up our minds to our intuitive gifts and Holy Communion. And with that, so it is done. The unknown becomes known. Harmony and healing and love and joy, abundance, freedom. Whatever your intention, you will remember this as we feel our feet on the floor, the chair behind our backs, our hands, our feet, our jawline, our head. Being fully in this space, giving great gratitude to the olive, to their ruby, to each one of the planets, as well as the luminaries, the sun and the moon, and of course for Mother Earth herself, and for us, each one of us that show up every single day. Yes. Yes to the rewards. Yes to the joy. Yes to the freedom. Yes to the yes. Now you can open your eyes and gaze softly in front of you. Take a drink of water, pen, paper, write down a few intentions. Envision them being planted in the earth so that you can harvest them over the next 6 months. Happy new moon and happy eclipse. As always, thank you so much for being here. It is a great time to be a soul. Until next time, happy soul tidings. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more ways to use the stars strategically to align with your soul purpose, reclaim your power, and increase your prosperity. Please rate and review your favorite episodes, and remember to check out my website at kimwoods.com for my latest forecasts, articles, and offerings. To find out your intuitive success signature, take my 12-question Do You Know, Like, and Trust Yourself quiz and find out how you're living your stars at yourstarmaptosuccess.com. I've so enjoyed our time together, as it's filled with the power of the stars plus strategy to clear the pathway to your success. Until next time, happy soul tidings.